Good everybody. Thank you again for tuning into POK Experience. And today, I have an amazing person with me. It's not a stranger again on this on this show. It's been with us a few times,
Never a
and
stranger.
and you guys enjoyed it. You guys enjoyed it. It's been awesome. A lot of people have listened to that episode and they told me, no, you need to bring back Femi Anthony, and I brought him back. Femi Anthony, how you doing, my guy?
I'm fine, Chief. And you? How's your
Uh,
day going?
my day is doing fine. My day is doing fine. Going straight into it. What does the sorry reality? What does it mean? Why do people create this kind of unthink experience these days? The the reels that are banging on Instagram, the videos that are banging on TikTok, they all have this unthink experience. I mean, Kata Ife is a case study. Why do we why are human beings seeking this unthink experience these days?
As you mentioned, the key word there is experience, right? And literally, that's what everybody is looking out for lately, either via marketing campaigns or even just scrolling through their phones, what it means to them, especially now that everybody is swamped with so many content, so many information that is out there on digital. So literally, what consumers are basically looking out for experience, and that experience is what sets every brand and every individual or every creator that sets them apart. That's literally what everyone is looking out for. One of the case studies you sent to me was something I said around Heineken, Budweiser, and Stella Artois, right? And then when you look at it, everybody is so fixated on, or it's not even fixated, for lack of a better word, right? Everybody is going towards that sort of campaign. You see Heineken campaign, regardless of the storytelling, it's so good, it's so interesting, it's so lovely. But then what you realize is they are selling something, and what they are selling is come together, the joy of being a fan and all of that. Amazing story. Budweiser, something similar to. They've been running it for years. And these days, when you watch a beer ad or a beer campaign of that has anything to do with football, it's almost it's still the same message that is going to pass, come together, go
Guinness
to
ad looks alike.
and then Stella Artois said, let's shake it up a bit. Let's do something. Even though we want you to come to the pub to watch the game, to interact with people, we don't just want you to come in the evening, or we don't just want you to come when you're less busy. Take 1 hour off work, come to a pub, take a Stella Artois beer, and then keep it on our tab. We are paying for it. The World Cup campaign is different, entirely different. Everybody wants you to come and watch, but they are saying they are giving you a particular experience, and they are giving you a reason to leave your house or leave your work to come and have 1 hour of beer time. So it means a lot to consumers generally, and literally that's literally what they are chasing, that experience. You can't give people an experience without them interacting with one way or the other, interacting with your brand, interacting with your product, and literally that's what they've done.
Did look. I'm thinking now that this algorithm fatigue and this surreal reality is why Nike went for this rip the script campaign.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally the same. It's literally the same thing. Even though I feel like it's like a subtle jab to Adidas, but then again, it's still not going to be a subtle jab because it was planned on different times, spent months, and all of that. But every campaign has to, they are motivating you to chase the goal, chase this because there's a script, there's a pattern. But this time they are telling you now, you know what? There's no script, just do what you want, and that was literally what's the experience that, or the message that they were passing across to even consumers, who want to interact with the brand, who want to get the marketing message, who even want to, you know, interact with whatever that is happening, during that season. And it's always going to be like that now, especially when consumers have that's a lot of information,
Do
literally
you
a lot of
do you
information.
do you think to me that Nike biscuit, I'm thinking now that it's kind of Gen Z Esquire, like Gen Z wants to do what they want. They don't want to
Mhm.
follow the status quo. I'm
But that's the
thinking that
season. That's the season where we are in that season currently. Yes, we are literally in that season, and that's what it is. If you belong to a particular society where people don't want to follow the normal status quo, they want to achieve a particular result, and then they feel like there are several ways of doing it. If that's what the society wants, you can tap into it and tell your brand story. It makes a whole lot of sense.
okay. That's what the new creators are kind of
Mhm.
bounding into too, right?
Yes, exactly. Even across content, across storytelling, so many things. People are changing the way it is being said because you fed this particular audience with a particular style, particular
Curated.
style of These days, I know content that is promoting a brand, even aside, even let's even leave the fact that I work in marketing. I know content that's promoting a brand. Everybody literally knows all these things, right? There's going to be one amazing hook, and you know that the moment 2 seconds into or 3 seconds into the video, the brand message
The
comes in, and
product.
then you'll be like, you're tired. So you need to find new ways of telling that story, and I think that's why a lot of people got interested in what Kataife is doing. I mean, you could say it's nonsense, but
Right.
then the young audience, that's what
What they
they are
want.
interacting with whatever is doing in real time. So it's not simulated. Even then, even if it's now bringing like a brand ad campaign into it and it's doing all of that, then you are seeing the real experience, the flow, and it's not like it's doctored. It's not. There's no script. There's no engineered process, right?
It's
It's
not
just
process.
as it goes. That's what you are seeing live on Twitch and all of that. And we are in the era of where you have so much Kataife, so much chance and the likes. You see a lot of guys grow through the ranks through streaming because it's just like a different way of storytelling. Even brands will tap into it in the long run.
Is it algorithm fatigue that is making humans people chase nostalgia these days?
So we could say it's algorithm fatigue. You could say that. However, we also need to understand that the consumers have been fed with this particular form of information is what they've been saying for over a decade. And at some point, the even though the algorithm is trying to do something so unique, however, you can get fed up with whatever that is on your timeline in the long run. And I'll give you a case study. Even though there are a whole lot of Nigerians that are pissed at the fact that Nigerians are watching polygamists and all of that, which I get where they are coming from. Over the weekend, I took time. I saw a polygamist, and then I made a tweet or two or three about it, right? And then I realized that my entire timeline was the polygamist. I couldn't see anything else. The algorithm realized that I was interested in that conversation, right?
Yeah.
But then my entire feed was the polygamist, and I needed to see something different. I needed to see something else. At the moment, I wasn't seeing it. I was just disinterested in Twitter, and I just left because why do I need to scroll 5 places before I see one singular tweet that is not around polygamy? And I know that it's a trend, and it's happening real time. People are having that conversation. The algorithm notices that I want to be part of that conversation, but then I don't want my entire experience for that particular day to be about that sort of content. And the same thing goes on Instagram. I lately I'm active on Instagram. You send me a DM, I reply you. I see, most of everything that I want to see. But I realized that the moment I search for a particular brand or two, what happens is my entire explore page is filled up with similar brands, similar products, or similar content, and I can't just see something else. And then I'm yearning for something different. That's literally what it means. I'm yearning for something different. You can, and that's exactly why people are tired. People are fed up, right? So you can, it's algorithm, fatigue. You can make a case for it, and then even though we understand the fact that these algorithms, they are trying to satisfy your curiosity at different touch points, right? But at some point, people are fed up, and if this is what it's going to look like, what you what people would then be interested in at this point in time is the streaming, the live, the live feeds, the what was it called, the TikTok live, your Instagram live, and your Twitch streaming and the likes. Because it's different. Whatever that you are doing, even if it's clownish or not clownish, they are seeing it real time. It's different from what they get to see previously, where they're just simulated curated content across touch points.
Mm. With what you mentioned, humans want sorry content, they want nostalgia, they're craving for something else. Will you now say that growing viral is no longer does not have a formula anymore? Like it's now gonna be based on luck. Will you say
So
that as a marketer?
virality, right?
Mm.
I'm one of virality sometimes happen by chance. To be honest, let's be so realistic. It happens by chance, and sometimes it is very very orchestrated, whereby you want people to see something and then you engineer it. How then do you engineer it? You don't just engineer. And okay, let me use this case study. We did World Cup campaign for Durex some years ago, and then we engineered certain conversations because we wanted people to speak in that particular manner. We wanted people to interact in that conversation, and then we did like a Twitter activation where you would not know that it was engineered, but it was generally engineered. Because what is happening is people are having sexual conversations, relating it to football. There's banter, and then everybody feels like, oh, maybe Direct is also even jumping on the conversation. But it was not like Direct was jumping on the conversation. Direct started that conversation, and then it was engineered in a way that people started, tweeting, giving that subtle opinions and
Yeah.
around sex and football, the passion that comes with it and all of that. And then Durex found a way of sustaining that conversation. So virality can happen by chance and it can also be engineered. However, what people are looking out for, either when it happens by chance or it is engineered, is the experience that it comes with, right? Especially as a brand, you need to understand that rule number one these days is your consumers want to be human, right? And as a brand, you also need to meet them there because you want to sell, I get it, but then you want to build a community, you want to build a connection, and then that means you need to be human enough to make meanings to or to make meaning to that person that you are targeting, so that person can sort of connect with you, have an experience about your brand, and then from there they can be a part of your community. They can, take a first step into wanting to experience your brand and all like that. I used to see a particular, I'll not mention the brand name, two different brands. There's a brand that has a premium positioning. There's a brand that has your regular positioning. Both brands are very popular, but I'm not going to mention the two brands name. First off, when I've been seeing certain ads about the brand that caters to the mass market, right? And then the moment I see the ad, I know, oh, is this brand? But then I now realize that because the brand that has a premium positioning noticed that those type of content was giving the mass market brand some level of visibility. Guess what? They did something similar, and that's like the problem that we have. Even though we've understood the algorithm, right? We understand that people want to see stuff like this. We are now making a mistake in terms of creating experiences, our own unique experiences for our consumers. thereby tapping into whatever that is unique to them to then deliver our own brand message rather. So I call it the copy strategy, where you see something that is viral, that makes a lot of sense, that works for a particular brand, and then you just copy it to then use it for yours. Arsenal did something from that content it has been on for a while. The carpool session, right? It has been on for a while. And then one of the things that made that carpool section with Frimpong that made it successful was the fact that people were seeing different perspective of the footballers, and it was just exciting content, right? Where you could understand more about the perspective of a player that plays for your club beyond the 90 minutes that you see on the pitch and beyond what is not, on the internet. And it's just carpool training sessions. And what it means is there's something like a korope that picks them at the entrance of the training facility, takes them to the training pitch, and then there's a verbal conversation and all of that. This thing grew so much to a point that there's a premium electric car brand that then, we want to sponsor that carpool session. That's what it means when you create, a distinct community or a distinct communication for your brand. And it's not that you are lifting, as everybody is doing podcasts, you are jumping on podcasts as a brand, as everybody is doing this.
Yeah.
So if you don't have anything different in what you want to say to consumers or how you want to communicate with them, then there's no point.
You are saying that at the end of the day, it is you being unique in the market.
Unique, yeah. That's literally what will stand out, because consumers, they've seen influencer content. Everybody knows when an influencer is advertising lately. Everybody knows. They literally know when you're advertising. So what makes it different is either the uniqueness or the style of how that influencer is delivering the message, the creativity around it, or how the brand is even distinct in the market, right? So he contributes to. I remember one time this guy Disney, I think that's his name, Disney. He did one ad for InDrive with InDrive, Rolls Royce, some sort of content, some. Even though I don't agree with InDrive doing something around Rolls Royce picking people up, but that was amazing content. That was different from order your Rolls Royce, use my promo code. It was quite different. It was a different experience entirely, and that was why it went viral, right? So we need to understand that even as businesses, beyond the numbers, beyond the sales, you need to be human first. You need to be you first, and then by being you can create different experiences that you want your consumers to experience.
Thank you, Femi. If you want to engineer virality, how will you do it? How will you balance it?
Is
human side this time around?
The brand needs to be human, and for brands that we've engineered, you also need to know that with people that you are working with, you need them to be at their best. I know that you have a brand tone. I know you have a brand speak. You have everything around it. The moment you want to engineer virality, and it's not just a brand asset and then you're backing it up with a few PR angles, then you need to, your influencers, whoever is talking about it, you need them to speak the way they would speak to their consumers, right? So it's not a situation where somebody says, one thing we need to realize, I want to rephrase that. One thing we need to realize is consumers are smarter, right? They have access to so many information and they've seen so many things that they know when something is true and when something is not true. So if you are trying to engineer virality, every element that is going to be included in that process needs to be unique. It means that I want POK to be POK. I want Femi to be Femi. I want David to be David. I want Pakuma to be Pakuma. I want, everybody needs to be themselves. And that's the moment you do that. And Femi is talking about it, Pakuma is talking about it, POK is talking about it, everybody is talking about it, right? You've created a situation where people are not just promoting, but then they're talking about their experiences and they're having, a real-time conversation. Another way of engineering, something which we tried out for a fintech, names withheld. At some point, somebody made a tweet, right? Intentionally, okay, make this tweet and let there be someone else that counters that tweet and let us start up a conversation. We didn't say, oh, this person that doesn't know about finance, but because you're an influencer and you have 300,000 followers, come and jump on this conversation. No. Everything or everybody that was part of that conversation was carefully curated. And what we did was, it started with just one tweet. And one tweet led to series of conversations, series of arguments. Everybody that was working with us, we didn't give them what to say. Because you're an expert in this field, right? You need to be yourself. You need to say it from your own perspective, how your own followers understand that this is how you speak. And everybody started having that conversation, led to a thread, led to argument. Finance experts started giving their, own one or two opinions about it. But then it was engineered. The conversation itself got more impressions, got more, visibility than even the first tweet that started the conversation. And if you look at, there's this interesting thing that is happening on Twitter that I sort of like. When you go to the search page, you see what leads to a particular conversation now, why there's a trend. That's like a plus in what I think. I can commend Elon for that, where you can see something that is a conversation that is trending, and then you see the origin of that conversation and why it's like that, right? So if you are engineering a trend, virality, or anything, you just need to let every element that comes into the process to be unique and to just be
To
themselves.
limit themselves, let them express whatever you want to do by themselves in their voice and all of.
Yeah.
Talking about, there's something that Pakuma said recently that, look, people are saying, oh, performance, everybody's just performing, that they are tired of this performing. Performance. And Pakuma is saying, like, look, everybody's performing and you have to just perform. But the difference is when you are performing in an area where it is not you. So if you are a marketing person,
It becomes a problem.
Performing, you want to be performing finance, it becomes a problem. Do you
Exactly.
agree with that? Everybody's
Honestly, everybody's doing what they can do. Everybody's doing what they can do. There's a reason why, if there are certain conversations, you will not see me there. It's not because there's knowledge deficit. I have basic knowledge about it, but you will not see me want to argue. But if you are saying something around marketing or thereabout, I can just chip in and say, you know what? Because I know so much about the subject matter, and that's why I'm trying to, have that conversation. So if you are someone that your expertise is around, sports content and the likes, perform there, show up, and make people see the value that you carry, right? And then if you are someone that has to do with marketing, everybody is creating. There's a lot of content. Everybody is performing one way or the other. You just need to show up and ensure that the place where you can express yourself very well, you consistently show up there, and then you make people see the uniqueness that you carry in that regard.
One thing I've experienced in e-commerce these days is that this on-in content that we're talking about, this unedited, free-flowing content we're talking about, recently they've been outperforming well-curated content when it comes to art. Like, there's a particular content that I've used for art, and it's basically a consumer picking up our phone and just speaking to it. You see this brand, it is this, it is that, and that was it. 20 seconds. But I think why that content works is the people seeing that video in an ad, they see that it is genuine,
real time.
So then we've tried to create that kind of thing again with other people, maybe with other creators and UGC. It just doesn't feel right. So it now begs the question, like, is it that, why is this very hard to recreate something like that?
Because people want genuine messages. They want truth. Literally.
Shouldn't it be easy for me to see, okay, this thing, can I just act like I'm
That's
genuine.
why I said the audience, they are smarter. The audience the audience know when something is engineered, they know when something is staged. So why not just give them the real time experience, right? I'll give you one of the best campaigns, I think, marketing campaigns 2023 or 2024. That was on Double D and AD, right? D and AD, right? Was Samsung's flip the something. I think Samsung Fold. Yeah, I think flip or fold campaign. I can't remember whatever campaign it was, but I know it was a Samsung campaign. That campaign was Samsung giving Apple users an experience that they are missing if they don't use the Fold device. And it was not a TVC. Yeah, there was a TVC, but the TVC was not even what gave the brand, or the influencer content was not, or the review was not even what gave that particular product the adoption that it got in the European market. You know what gave it that success? It was the experience, going to the streets, interacting with people, and say, "Come, we've interacted with people. You have an iPhone, you have an iPhone. Come, let's give you the Fold experience." Yeah, I think it was the Fold experience. Yes, that's the. I think you should research that campaign. Samsung, the Fold experience. It was so good. It was successful, and it was just because people had a genuine experience of what it feels like to own a Samsung Fold, because they were live and they were present where there was a product demo that was done not with a Samsung device but with two Apple devices. What does it mean to? So what they are trying to say, instead of buying two Apple devices, you can have one Samsung Fold, right? And then you have this level of experience. You can do this, you can, and people were seeing it real time. All they just did was to create a software that could be installed on an Apple device, and then they went to the street and then interacted with people, documented it, and people, they captured people's expression, how people were interacting with the device, everything real time, and it became a success. And I knew that it did like maybe I think over 100 million, reach visibility. I can't remember the specific details, but it's on Double D and AD, won an award. Is so people want audience are smart, they want experiences, and if you don't give them that experience, you just keep simulating,
and it,
stories, do
and
this, do
and it's
that.
very hard. It's
Successful.
very hard to recreate that genuine feeling. It's very
That
it's
genuine
hard.
feeling and experience, that's what consumers are looking out for.
Mm.
Everybody will
So
look at you. Everybody will look at you. There's a video. Let's say, for example, you are partnering with Kata Ife, and it says, "Oh, there's this thing." Makes people are seeing it real time as he's giving his review. It's not something that has been
they can
edited.
see if he doesn't like it. They will see his
Yeah, they
heart. They
can
will
see
see.
it. The expression and everything. It says the truth is
Uh,
there. So there's
if he
no
eats
point,
the food, if he eats the food and he doesn't like it, they will see.
everybody knows literally. So audience want you to be genuine as possible, and that's a real experience. That reality can only come with giving people genuine experiences. That's what would propel them to want
With
to
this now,
take an action.
in e-commerce now, for us to engineer this kind of surreal content,
Hmm.
we would most likely send out our products to people. You know, so will that happen as well in FMCG?
There are some, yeah, to be honest. So what people do, or what I think people do lately, especially when it has to do with product that has to do with consumption, is activations. When you do an activation, what brands now do is when they do an activation, they document that activation, you see the genuine experiences or genuine reactions of people towards a particular product, and then they put it online so you can see it,
Hmm.
right? And
If I
you
have my
can,
Odogu data, I take it to Ajegule, I give
yeah,
it to people.
you get the real time feedback. How does it make people feel? That very first taste, what does it look like? How do they feel when they're taking that product? The reactions, the comments, the side comments, and all those things. You would think it doesn't mean a lot, but it means a lot. I've been at an activation where somebody is saying, "Oh, this product is nice, buy it, no, don't buy it," and the person is conflicted. One of the person that has tried that product then said, "Oh, but I think I tasted it. If it's nice, if you want to buy, I tasted it. This product is nice. If you want to buy, I think you should get it." and then it's propelling the person that is doubting, that has not tasted the product, to say, okay, let me try or let me
Yeah.
buy. Okay, but before I buy, let me try too. The person tries it and go, oh, it's nice. What has happened there is word of mouth. I see brand A, I like brand A. Person A has tried brand A at the venue and feels like brand A is good. Person A is convincing person B to buy brand A, that I've tried it too, it makes a lot of sense. And then that person is saying, I'm banking on your feedback, I'm banking on, even though they don't know each other, they've not met, that's the first time they've seen each other, they still trust the experiences and the feedback that comes from random people, all just because they feel like they've experienced the brand.
Yeah, I get it. I think the whole space is now moving towards in
Mhm.
real time. Interesting. We often say that social media is not real life. That the people are creating the life people have on social media is different from what they have
Oh,
offline.
wow, yeah. If you want to, that day I saw something. I saw something on Instagram. I was like, okay, but I've met this person, and the perception you have online is different from who you
That's
are.
not you.
That's literally not who you are. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? Social media is not real, right? You can create like a make believe situation, and you can say it's fake it till you make it. But then the major reason why a lot of people believe stuff like that is because that person has created like subsequent consistent perception of how they want to be seen, how they want to be perceived. I saw someone, I used to work somewhere, and I met someone briefly there. And then one day I was on LinkedIn and I saw so many things that that person wrote on a LinkedIn profile. I was like, okay, but this person was not part of all this project. But then it's so funny that this person even goes to, you are doing maybe your moonshot or anything, and this person goes there, goes to the stage, takes pictures, then come to LinkedIn to write, oh, I had the conversation with this person. There was no conversation, everything was just simulated. And the truth is,
Conversation.
from a brand perspective too, people, audience, sometimes they know these things, right? You partner with an influencer to do a content and the influencer is saying this product is nice, they use this product, everybody knows you don't use this product, so there's no point. If I can remember, there was a time, I think it was Oppo and Mosala was
Yeah.
promoting Oppo. People came on Twitter to say, nigga, you don't use this phone.
You don't use
And that time there was Twitter for iPhone, Twitter for Android, there was still that, what
the
it did.
scan the screenshot that place.
Yeah, for months, Salah had to be tweeting from Android. He had to be taking family pictures from Android because you need to make people believe that you are genuinely using that device. Gone are the days where you sign a brand ambassador as a an Android business, right? You sign a brand ambassador, and the next thing the brand is tweeting from iPhone. You are not interested because you feel like the person should have a different life. But then again, you are communicating something to consumers, and your consumers look up to that person. So if you cannot, to an extent, create that genuinity, then you are making a huge brand mistake.
There's a big conversation that happened on Twitter one day about how I've forgotten the bank now. I think it's UBA. How they were, I think they used some
Mhm.
wrong set of influencer.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah, that particular conversation. I want to ask you a question about it. How important is alignment of influencer to the product?
The essence of influencer marketing is because you are trying to create a make believe.
I'm thinking these guys are amplifiers now, influencer. Like you can give them anytime because it's for them to amplify. But
So
I think it's more than that.
so now this is that. Okay, I like the angle where you brought it. There are amplifiers who, if Tony Elumelu says something, right, and then Ashiwaju Larry picks it up and makes a random tweet about it, he can amplify that conversation. you cannot make the person your thought leader to drive the main conversation itself. The mistake UB has made is not to create a driver or a conversation starter, right? To say this is what it means. And then they now took an amplifier to now create like a make-believe situation. What happened to like Olumide Capital, who consistently says stuff about finance and everything, and then Olumide Capital says something about finance, then you have a couple of other finance guys to tweet about whatever subject matter UBA was discussing at that particular point in time, and after a while, right, you have your amplifiers to then amplify that conversation. The mistake they made was to use amplifiers at on the get-go. It's just like you are trying to use Instablog as the main influencer to create a content that could possibly drive conversation for your brand. Meanwhile, people that are following Instablog, even they follow Instablog for a particular reason. If Instablog doesn't fit into your brand, that can be on Instablog and nobody sends you, right? It's just like you have a unique fashion brand, you ignore the Mary Claire, you ignore your Bella Nigeria, even though they are majorly media houses that will amplify, and then you feel like you want to drop your content on Instablog. Even the chances that it might work is quite slim. Meanwhile, your core audience, they are guys that follow, they are the guys that follow like your Bella Nigeria, your Mary Claire. How many people follow Ashiwaju Lorry and they are heavy on finance? How many? Is a minute number. If we distill it, the only reason that content caught a lot of life or everything was because it came from a place where people wanted to criticize whatever they were doing, the process around it, and
so you should imagine when Pooja, a photographer, is talking about finance and stuff, it become so alignment of influencer and the is very key.
It's very key. It's super key, and you need to do it, and you need to do it well. That was lazy work. I think I saw that conversation. I just didn't get involved, but I knew that's lazy work.
I get it now. So the actual thought leader has to align with business. They have to align them. When they put it down, then the amplifiers can now come in
exactly
and push it.
And if you look at it, influencer marketing is just like thought leadership marketing too, because you are using a thought leader in a particular industry.
Because the person has authority.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what influencers.
They are banking on the authority of the person.
Of the person is the credibility of the person. That's what you are investing on. It's just like you are taking you are using Fisayo Fosudo for as to promote a beauty brand. The guy knows tech, he knows devices, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't know beauty. Why even if he's doing skincare in his house, skincare is based on recommendation to him. It's not a you are using him to drive conversation about beauty. It's misalignment of purpose and vision for the brand, and also from the influencer.
Oftentimes you've spoken about the product the quality of Nigerian luxury products. I'm of the opinion that the Nigerian luxury product brands, they get the branding side very well, but you have the opinion that the product side also must align. Do you understand?
We don't even get the branding. There's no luxury Nigerian product, and we don't know we don't know what luxury means. What we think luxury means in Nigeria is from a place of price, not from a place of experience. And luxury is all about experience. And I'll give you a very rich case study. I'm not tearing any brand down, and I'm sorry if I'm going to mention brand names, right? I'm not trying to tear anybody's brand down, and I'll mention certain brands. If you go to, and I'll use Ikeja City Mall as an example, we can do this research, maybe on your free day if you're in Lagos. Let's just do this research and I'll show you a couple of things. If you go to a Tommy store, right? You go to Adidas store, and then you go to NAC apparel. NAC is positioned as a premium Nigerian high street to an extent brand, right? and then you have Adidas and Tommy. The experience you get from your Adidas, from your Clark, from your Tommy, they are more premium than a brand that is saying I'm a premium brand. And this brand, the Adidas, the Tommy, the Clarks, and they are not premium brands. They are mid-range brands. Your June London is a mid-range brand.
Yeah.
Your Clark is a mid-range brand. But then they have once you walk into any of their stores, they have the look, the feel, everything about them is more premium than a Nigerian brand. And that's why even though we say premium luxury, whatever, I think the only brand that is doing something close to maybe premium or premium luxury, even though I still don't agree that it's premium or luxury, is Vanifuga. You could have what we have are brands that are slightly above a mid-range positioning. Would you buy Vanifuga of 100,000 one piece of product, $100,000, or you buy a Gucci $100,000? You buy a Gucci. Why? Because even to an extent, if Gucci has a resale value, you want to resell it, you can get at least 80% of your money. If you buy Vanifuga $100,000, you don't have a resale value.
But why is that? Is it because the competition is local or the global?
It's because we've not act, and I'm not excluding myself, right?
No, because I totally disagree with you in that.
We've not act the concept or the business of creating luxury.
Even our hotels and hospitality industry itself.
It's not luxury, but then you call it luxury. You go to Protea and they are telling you, oh, it's luxury hotel. And then when you look at it, this is not luxury. What we think is and I think is a societal thing, right? Where everything that we do is more aspirational, not luxury. And I think that's like the best way I can explain it. And I'll give you a case study. Someone that cannot buy that can't buy maybe your Gucci, right, would buy a Nigerian brand that is expensive. Why? Because if I cannot afford the Gucci, I can afford this. It's aspiration that maybe one day I'll be, one day I'm going to be there. It's not a case of maybe I can. It's not a case of maybe I have so much money and I'm trying to throw money away. And I'll give you. Sorry, I'm sorry I'm using this person as an example. Hush Puppy. How many Nigerian brands was Hush Puppy consistently, showcasing and putting on when it was disturbing the internet? There was, because you walk into. Do you know what luxury means? Luxury is you walk into a meeting, you carry a Birkin bag, and you walk into a meeting. Is Birkin luxury? Yeah, maybe. I guess so. I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
And you carry a Birkin bag, right? And then you walk into a meeting, and because somebody from the board sees the bag that you carry, they know that you have so much money. They know that you have class, they know that you have taste. That's literally what luxury, that's what it means. We've not asked the concept of luxury is experience.
Same as car. If you pull up in a car now, your rep kind of increases based on the.
Exactly. It's very aspirational. You can, and for example, Innocent will tell you they create luxury Nigerian cars. But would you rather have Innocent or you have a Rolls Royce? Do you get? So is it product quality that makes a brand luxury? It's more than product quality. It's the entire perception, it's the entire experience, it's the branding around it. It's the branding.
they do a lot of branding now. You
It's
have
because
pictures.
we think branding starts and ends with visuals. It just doesn't start and end with logo, with your colors, with your photography style, with the quality of camera. The storytelling alone itself. I saw I did, something for, fashion brands. I think I mentioned it to you. I did a bit of things with, fashion brand, right? And then I
Yeah.
was researching certain campaigns, right? And I can tell you for a fact that even the when you see a Gucci, when you see a Gucci production, you know this is a Gucci production. When you see a Zara production, you know, oh, okay, this is a Zara production. And when you see a Nigerian luxury production, it doesn't meet the standard of a Gucci production, but it meets the standard of a Zara production, which is mid-range brand. So what we are selling is aspirational brands, right? Aspirational brands, not luxury brands. Luxury, the ex- the experiences of luxury that luxury brands that they create, the showroom, the when you walk into a mall or you even see a video of a luxury brand, the showroom of a luxury brand, you can tell the difference. We don't have that.
And
Is the
which Nigerian sector has it? I don't think any. I can't think of any.
oh, that's what I'm saying. We do not have luxury experiences. That is Nigerian owned. Though. I do not think
So
we have luxury
it's a
experiences.
pure cultural and society problem at large.
Yes, exactly. It's
They
it.
say somebody saw the office of DBA where they were hosting their
Mhm.
executive, and the guy was pointing out like, "Look, what is this? This should be a high level office."
It's a cultural problem, to be honest. It is a cultural problem.
Mm.
So we've not really asked the even the storytelling to create, luxury brands. We've not done it.
You see
We've
that we
not.
don't have the money to build something like that
So
that
it's not
transcends.
because we don't have the money. I worked in alcohol sector slightly. No, not slightly, for a while. And I can tell you that when you see even the brand guides, the kind of stories, the concepts, the executions, and everything for luxury brands, you can see the difference. You can really see the difference, and it's not, and it's with us. We have the anyhow culture. We have that anyhow culture problem, and I'll say something. Some people might listen to it and feel, I watch most of the series that I watch, or most of I hardly. It's not because I watch a lot of Nigerian movies. I have sisters that love Nigerian movies, and I sit with them through it, and then we watch, Nigerian movies and all, regardless of where it's being played, either YouTube, either Netflix, and the likes, right? But I can tell you from an execution standpoint, when you see a good series or something that is done, for a particular audience, this is done with excellence. So we have like excellence culture problem.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
that.
There
So
there was
so we now take that same culture to say, I want to build if you are building a luxury brand, is not 100,000 naira per shirt.
I mean, we have a guy selling a shoe for 15 million and he's using 100 naira envelope to try.
How is that luxury? But the guy is telling you that this is luxury, footwear. But that's not so that's what I'm saying. There's nothing like luxury. From a product quality, the guy's product might be 100 times better than the Gucci product. I don't know. I mean, right? But then when you see the product quality is A to Z. That's the gap that we have. The gap is A
Yeah.
to Z entirely.
Based on what we have on Algorithmic, who's seeking the real time experience. If you want to work on a campaign brand now, what are the three things you put in mind for going into it?
Data, to be honest, data, that's like the bedrock of anything that you want to do. That's literally what is going to guide how you communicate, who you are targeting, how do you want to, like the foundation generally. Data. Also, you need to understand the audience. As much as there's data and data is pointing you to a particular place, you need to understand the audience that you are trying to speak to. Understanding the audience that you are trying to communicate.
How do you carry out? How do you carry out understanding the audience? How do you understand the audience of a brand as a marketing person?
That's
How do
why
you carry out that? What is
so
it like?
there's research, and it's a Nigerian problem that we don't research the way we are meant to research. There's research, and research can be done from different ways. One of the easiest ways that we've now found out to do research now in Nigeria is just putting something in Google form and just sending it to people, and when people feel it's not genuine enough. I know I mentioned something to you our last conversation where we did a research for a beverage brand, and then we had like a focus group, and we brought several guys to say, okay, come sit down, let's interact with you. How do you feel? Understanding the psychographic of the audience, where the audience is coming from, what they think, how they are thinking, how they want to be communicated to. Data has told you that, communicate to Gen Z, but the Gen Z that you are communicating to, how do they react when they see particular brands or competing brands? What do they feel about your brand? What are the emotions that sort of involved in the entire process? You need to find that out. After finding out everything about your audience, you can now build your entire marketing message on that particular premise. You mentioned something that you feel the Nike ad was built on the premise of Gen Zs who want to read the script and want to do something extraordinary. And literally, that could have been the insight that was gotten from whatever strategy session that they had, and they were able to create it. Is even what they've done is even anti-Nike, because Nike to be the motivator brand to tell you go for your dreams, go for
you. Yeah,
but how it turned out, it was quite different.
And they're able to do that, like looking at the data,
Exactly.
knowing that this is what the audience might want right now.
Exactly.
Then going into it. Nice. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Would you say that seeking surreal experience and all this in real time content that people want, would you say it has made marketing more expensive, or it has made it cheaper?
It depends. To be honest, for certain sector, it has become, even for all sectors, to be honest, it has become more expensive, right? But what it means is, in the long run, it is giving brands an opportunity to tap into the pain points of their consumers, interact with them, and get results beyond long-term results. What brands that are creating surreal experiences are getting now is an active community around them, and then they can use them to scale for long-term purpose. For example, Sir Leo da Silva started this Arsenal watch party thing at the end of the season, whatever. And I think Budweiser was one of the very first brands that jumped on it. Look at how it has turned out. That thing is going to be an active community. I kid you not, Arsenal wins another trophy this coming season, and that place would literally blow up. And that's what it means. So you need to find a way of meeting consumers where they want to be and creating an experience for them where they tell you, or where you feel like they really want to be.
It'd be nice chatting with you, Femi Anthony. I enjoyed the conversation. I've learned a lot again. It's like you're coming here to give us masterclass. You should be paying 10K. People that are going on POK experience, they are chopping that FMCG episode. They are getting free masterclass. They should pay. Thank you.
No problem, brother.
Thank you very much. We are now in the trivia section. I'll mention something, then you tell me Maybe the one you like the most, or
Don't shall mention Job or which don't mention Job.
oh my God. Yeah, I won't mention Job today. Okay. The first thing is language.
Okay.
The language you find interesting. Just tell me.
The language I find very interesting. A language I find very interesting. 2 or 1.
One.
I find the Zulu language very interesting, even though I'm pissed at South Africans. I find it very interesting. And I think it's one of the major reasons why I sort of watch. It's not like I understand most of the things they say, right? I have to read, but there are certain things that I've sort of picked up, right? But then I find it very, very. It sounds in a way that I sort of like. I don't know why. I sort of like it. But then the people that are speaking the language, nah, I don't like them.
Food.
I'm very indifferent about that. I don't like any. There's no food that I sort of think I like. I just eat anything that is possible for me. Anything I can eat at that particular moment, I eat.
Phone brand.
Xiaomi, even though I don't use a Xiaomi anymore. Xiaomi is still a very interesting brand for me.
Car brand.
The Lexus.
Country.
That I find very interesting.
Yeah.
Country that I find very interesting. To be honest, I don't know. I think my patriotism is making me get everything. I like Nigeria a lot, and I wish Nigeria would work.
Really good.
I don't think I find any country that's fascinating and all like that. Maybe the UAE or so. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
Musician.
Lona, I find him very, very interesting.
Author. The book author.
Yan King. What's the title of this Yan King's book? Oh, I've forgotten the title, but there was this Secret of the something Nazi. Yeah, I read that book and it was really good.
A Bible character.
Bible character for me has to be Daniel.
Footballer.
Footballer. Martin Odegaard. I kind of like him. Yeah, Martin Odegaard.
Career.
Engineering. Sadly, I'm doing marketing.
All right, Femi Anthony. What I will ask you last is, do you think Surreal experience as currently in marketing space in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
do you think people want to see more of African content or more of Western content?
I think even Westerners want to see more of African content.
African is taking over.
If we find a way to perfect our storytelling, I mean, we've been going on a particular pedestal. If we do everything that we're meant to do, if we do it right, we'll take over the world. Even everybody wants to see what is coming out of Africa. There's so much quality in what we do. Our stories that are not being told, you get. And if we can just tell those stories the right way, there's a lot that can come out of Africa.
Okay. What will you leave us with?
God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Femi Anthony.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother.